Now, the world's most famous footballers and rugby players wear GPS technology so coaches and analysts can track their performance during matches. Well, STATSports is behind much of that live data tracking technology, and now it's widening its customer base so amateur players can get involved too. Well, after a bumper 2020, the company's looking to go public, reportedly, next year. We're live now to the Northern Ireland National Football Stadium, Windsor Park, where we can speak to STATSports founder Sean O'Connor. Sean, welcome to you. Why the expansion into amateur sport?
Well, it's natural for us, I suppose, to give your listeners a bit of background on who we are. They're probably familiar with the company, maybe without even realising it. If you watch Sky Sports News, you will see the black bras that players tend to wear that holds the GPS device. Or, as you mentioned, in rugby, the Six Nations, the Rugby World Cup, you can see the bump on players' backs from the device that they're wearing. So it's been used at the top level by the likes of Liverpool, Manchester United, Juventus, England, and so on. So it's a natural drip down effect to start to bring this and introduce it into the consumer.
Well, exactly so. But my assumption, Sean, is that this is quite expensive kit. If Man United and Liverpool are wearing it, is it necessarily be something that Froome Town can wear?
It is. We've made it affordable. So we've been able to take the same core technology, the same devices that the elite teams wear, but been able to offer a consumer-friendly app that you can have on your phone that's different to the sports science model that the elite teams will wear. So it doesn't go into that detail, but it's user-friendly, allows you to get your data on your phone live while you're playing, or being able to watch your kid, for example, playing soccer or rugby, and being able to see the data on the phone as and when they're playing. So it's definitely affordable for all.
Now, Sean, your first customer, I believe, was Leinster Rugby. Did you have a job persuading the football clubs to take it on?
We're in existence now over 10 years. In the beginning, you're talking about what GPS is, and you're explaining the concept and how it can improve. But it's now become it's a mainstay in all top clubs and through all levels, because it allows you to analyse players, and you're paying players, and they're an expensive part of what you do. They're almost like Formula One cars. They're finely tuned athletes, and in order for them to perform as best as possible on game day, you need to make sure you can manage them appropriately, so they cross that line on game day and they can perform to their maximum.
Now, you've got a couple of well-known footballers as ambassadors, people like Harry Maguire and Raheem Sterling. I gather one or two of them are also investors as well.
Yeah, that's correct, Ian. We have Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain and Raheem Sterling last year invested in the company, and as recently this year, Harry Maguire and Phil Foden have also invested. So they're what we're classifying them as strategic investment, because they're not just coming with a blank check. They bring themselves to this. They've been wearing our devices from when they were kids at academy level the whole way through. So it's been a fundamental part of their development as a footballer, so they can see the story and how this will feed into the consumer, and they want to get behind it. So they're able to bring their expertise and their story, and it marries up with what we're doing. So we're excited to have them on board.
And I have seen one or two reports that you might float on the stock market next year. What can you tell me about that? Is that people jumping the gun a bit?
Well, we're controlling what we control right now. We've come through 2020. Cognizant of the year. It's been a tough year for everybody, and we face challenges, but it's been a fantastic year for us when we look back in terms of what we're able to do as a company. Our B2B side, so our core business, the elite side, we've grown year on year about 15% this year, and the core part of that business, which allowed us to go into a lockdown and to be able to kick on, was having 75% of our revenue as recurring revenue. And then on our consumer side, we've grown 104% in 2020, which is quite remarkable. And it's epitomised by November this year compared to last year. We had a growth of 245%. So it sets us up nicely going into 2021 with some exciting projects still to come, and some big things planned. So looking forward to it.
Yeah, you've made a big push into the United States. What are the next territories you're targeting?
Well, we've sold our consumer product into over 90 countries around the world. So we're now looking to build on that base that we have. We've got, as you mentioned, there's a huge opportunity across the US, and in itself, it can be split up into multiple regions. We've got offices in Australia, we've got offices throughout Europe, in Japan and places. So we're really starting to spread our wings from our Northern Ireland base in Uri, and it's exciting to be able to open up those doors.
And crucially, Sean, worth pointing out, a lot of the manufacturing of the kit is in Northern Ireland.
Yeah, and I suppose we've got our a lot of the manufacturers in Northern Ireland. We've hedged as well that we've got some facilities in the Republic of Ireland as well to make sure we can cover all eventualities. But yeah, we're doing this on the island of Ireland to make sure that we can take as much control and ensure that our technology and our equipment is first class.
Very briefly, Sean, because we haven't got an awful lot of time left. Are there any players or any teams that you'd love to get on board?
There's always a couple of teams, and there's a couple of exciting ones that we're talking to at the moment. So hopefully 2021 will really open that door for us. But we have some of the biggest names in world sport across the world on our books, and there's always a few more we could add, and we're working on those right now. It'd be tough to name a couple of them because we've been speaking to them as we're going along. So that's just what I have to say.
We will stay tuned. Sean, it's great talking to you. Best of luck for next year. Thanks for joining me.